right, today we are going to dig into a great question. Is there right or wrong? And I'm here to tell you, not in the way you think, not in the way you have been taught. So, why do I say that? If you've watched the previous 4 or 5 videos where we walk through this framework, which explains the whole foundation for what we as humans consider morally right or wrong, you'll understand what I mean. So I'm going to go through it really briefly with you. Hey, Luxar, good to see you. Good morning. So, is there right or wrong? How are we normally taught about right and wrong, good and bad, evil and, this and that and the other, right? There's all kinds of cultural implications. And what I'm here to say is that fundamentally, foundationally, once you understand what is a violation and what is not a violation, then you are free from all of the other stuff. Then you'll recognize that those are just cultural interpretations, okay? Hey, good to see you. So let's take a quick look at this again, all right? When I say, is there right or wrong? I need to define what I'm talking about, right? Because right could mean to go right or to go left, right? It could mean something's good or bad. It could mean something's accurate or not accurate, right? Like 2 + 2 = 4. It doesn't equal 5. That is a right answer versus a wrong answer, see? So if we don't define what we're talking about, we can't even have the same conversation. And you can see that going on all over the world, right? We can't have the same conversation. Yes, good morning. So when I say right or wrong, right, I'm talking about something that is morally right in this sense. There's another sense where I might say something is true. And when I say true, I mean it's accurate. It matches. It matches. Not it's a universal truth that we all know to be true. No, it matches, right? So if I say, for instance, okay, well, this dust towel is blue, okay? Does it match? If I say this dust towel is red, and you look at it and you're like, no, it's not, it's blue, right? Then it doesn't match. That means it's not accurate. That's a different type of right, okay? What I'm talking about with this is there right or wrong? We've all been taught, all these things about like what is right or wrong, or what does it mean to be a good woman, right? For instance, all of these moral judgments that people have, right? Oh, her skirt is too short, or she's dressed too sexy, or she's got too many tattoos, so she's bad, right? That's this whole concept we have about this whole morality thing, but it's all just culturally influenced. So if we can break it down to its most fundamental level, we can get rid of all the rest of that baggage. Okay, so when I say, is there right or wrong, what I'm really saying is there a violation or not a violation? Okay, this is on the negative spectrum. And this has to be our base. This has to be just the base level. When we have that, all the rest gets easy. So when I say, is there a violation, okay, then I mean, did somebody violate your body, right? That would be murder, rape, slavery, assault. Right? Is there a violation of you? Is there a violation of your body? Is there a violation of your creations? That's like theft, slander, someone stealing your ideas, intellectual property infringement. Those are all violations of your creations. Is there a violation of your right to make a deal? Once you own something, if I own my body, then I own everything it does. So that means I have the right to go and provide services, right? If I'm a lawyer, I get to go and practice law. And that means when I practice law, I get to exchange my services for money. See? Yeah, I know, right? All of this judgment on people about anything that goes beyond this, it does have to stop, right? So if you just look at those few things, that's really all you have to look at. See, is there a violation? Did somebody violate me, right? My body, my mind? Did somebody violate my creations? Did somebody engage in a bad deal, right? So what does that mean? If you understand, like if you are making an agreement and they lied to you about the terms of that agreement, or they didn't tell you things you needed to know, or they pretended it was worth more than it was, right? And they knew that. These are all ways in which we violate that exchange, that deal. Or the most common way we violate it is if somebody applies pressure to make you do something you don't want to do. Okay, that's a violation of the exchange. So now when we look at all of this stuff, we can spot, okay, now I know what's really going on. This is the thing that's wrong. This is the violation, not this other thing that I was being distracted by over here, right? So when we understand, I fully own myself, my time, my body, then it doesn't matter how I want to dress it, right? Like Sarah is saying, I also suffer from this. I tried a lot, but not able to do what I want, and this frustrates me. Yes, right? It frustrates you because someone else is trying to control you. They're trying to control your body, your mind, your actions. But you recognize, hold on, just a second. I own me. I own myself. Which means I get to choose, right? If I own this dish towel, okay, I can do whatever I want with it. I can wipe down something dirty. I can sell it. I can give it away, right? I can do all of this stuff. But if you try to tell me, okay, well, you've got that dish towel, but you can't do this and you can't do that, you can't do the other thing with it. I'm like, well, do I really own it then? Maybe not. So when you understand that you fundamentally own yourself, then you're going to begin to take back your rights, to take back your power, and you'll recognize when somebody else is violating you. And when they're violating you is when they are trying to pressure you through negative pressure, usually guilt, or sometimes threats, right? To make you do something that you don't want to do. She says, that's why I'm suffering from depression. Yeah, and you know what? When you feel trapped, that is when you do suffer from depression. That's exactly right. I mean, like I said, I grew up in a very controlling, restrictive cult. Okay, and they like, you have to live like this, you have to do like this, you have to have sex like this, right? They controlled every aspect of our lives. And it got to a point when I was in my early 20s and I was like 22 and I was like, I can't live like this. I see no future for myself that I want, right? And what I didn't realize was that in the cult, they had taught me I didn't own myself. They taught me your body belongs to God, therefore it belongs to the group. Okay, now families do the same thing. There are families that will teach you, you belong to this family, you belong to this country, you belong to this political system, you don't own yourself, you don't get to make decisions for yourself. So that is, but when you see that is false, you were born, you are an aware being, this body is your whole property, and you get to decide whatever you want to do with it, your time, your actions, your thoughts, okay? Just understanding that first part, then you can release yourself from all of the binds of guilt. You may still be restricted by the physical, okay? This is the issue. Now, one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about helping people get free financially and become independent financially is because most of the time when we're trapped, even when we understand this, it's because we're economically trapped, right? Yeah. That's the bitter truth. It is the bitter truth, right? And believe me, I've been there. So many women are trapped in bad relationships, right? Or abusive relationships or abusive families or all kinds of things because we don't have the economic ability to support ourselves and to take care of ourselves outside of that group. So that's why that is such a critical key to get to achieve a level of financial or economic independence. That way you can claim this kind of independence, you see? But even just understanding that they don't own you, you own yourself, allows you to release the mental bondage, right? Then you can release the mental bondage. And then when you release the mental bondage, then you can begin to take steps to actually create the physical release, right? To create the physical freedom as well. But start with the mental, right? When they start being able to manipulate you based on guilt or things that are good or bad, right? You'll already start achieving a lot more freedom and you can start focusing on where you want to go, what you want to do, and getting your own physical freedom as well, right? So that's why this is so critical. So a lot of the stuff that we have been taught as moral, right? Oh, she's dressing sexy. That's not good, right? Or she's doing this or that. That's not good, okay? That's all bullshit. Frankly, that's bullshit. Okay? So that has nothing to do with a sense of, is this person violating one of the three fundamental principles, right? And once you learn to look for that, then you're going to be free from all those so many other judgments. Hi, Gabrielle. How are you? Yeah, you're going to be free from all of this other judgment stuff that's going on because you will understand fundamentally, okay, well, that girl may be dressing like all sexy and she's got tattoos and she's got piercings everywhere, but hey, that's her body. If she wants to do that, that's kind of cool, That's fine. That's her choice. I might not want to do that to myself, but that's her body. She gets to pick, right? So we can release judgment against people for doing this sort of stuff, which has nothing to do with morality. And then we can be more honed in when someone is doing something that they say is good, right? How many times do religions or our churches or our parents or all kinds of people in authority try to force or pressure us into doing something we don't want to do, into giving up our freedoms, right? And they pretend it's good, and they pretend, oh, this is for God, or this is for the community, or this is for, you need to respect your parents and you need to obey us and all of this sort of stuff, right? Well, if they're violating your principles, if they're violating your rights, not cool, okay? That is the moral violation. That is the moral violation. So, thank you. She says, I'm so comfortable with you to share all my problems. Well, I'm so grateful to you for coming on and talking about them. That shows a great openness and honesty, and I appreciate it. Okay? So, so that's what I wanted to talk about. There's really only three things. Hey, Gabriel. There's really only three things to worry about. Is it violation of your body, your creations, or is there some violation happening in the exchange, in the deal? Usually someone's lying to you about it, right? Or they're applying pressure to get you to do something you don't want to do. And that can be something physical pressure, like where they threaten you, but it can also be things like guilt, okay? And if it's violating one of those, then you know that is the morally wrong thing, okay? And all the other stuff that is all just myths. It's all cultural. It's all stories. And they completely change from one place to another, right? So we can release those, right? I mean, if you say, well, this girl's wearing, her skirt is too short, so she must be a bad person. Well, what about in Africa, where, or in the Amazon, where a lot of the tribes wear almost nothing, right? Are you going to say they're morally bad because of how they dress? Of course not. That's baloney, okay? So that's just cultural. That's cultural conditioning. Has nothing to do with the fundamentals. See? So when you understand the fundamentals of a violation, it has nothing to do with how you dress or do your hair or your makeup or anything else. The fundamentals of the violation are only those three things. Now you can have clarity. All right? Okay. I will see you guys tomorrow. And go back and rewatch this if you really want to understand the foundation of what we consider the principles of right and wrong morality. It has nothing to do with what you've been taught and what you normally think. All right? Ciao, ciao.